RV life can be insanely expensive or ridiculously cheap. If you're anything like us, you're somewhere in between. Today, I'm sharing our basic monthly expenses for our family of 4 living full-time and traveling the US in an RV.
Hi there, I'm Leanne, and this is Making My Abode on the Road.
The good news is it's up to you how affordable RV life can be. It's your choice. Your first choice being the type of rig you're going to get. Are you going to get new? Are you going to get used? Are you going to get a Class A or are you going to get a pull-behind trailer? Prices vary between a Class A and a pull-behind trailer from up here to way down here. It all depends on what your needs and your wants are. Obviously, new is going to be more expensive. Maybe, right? I've heard stories of, some of the COVID builds. I don't know. We got a 2021 brand new, and we haven't had any problems. We had one minor problem with the refrigerator and a propane leak, but my husband was able to fix it. Other than that, we have not had any major issues. So 4 years ago, like I said, we bought brand new. We got a 2021 Montana High Country 376 FL. That's a mouthful. They're always a mouthful. And then our tow truck is a 2016 F350. When we bought it, it had 103,000 miles on it, and now it has like 215,000. So we've put that many miles on it in just 4 years. So we make payments on both of those. We're about to pay off our truck, which I am very excited about. I think we probably have less than a year on it. So I'm very excited about that. That's going to be a huge money saver. But anyway, for the combination of both of those payments, we pay $1,293. Utilities are always usually covered at your RV park. But then you have propane. Propane isn't covered. So in the wintertime, we spend about $50 a month. And in the summertime, it's about $50 every 2 to 3 months. During the summer, we only use the propane for cooking, pretty much. Sometimes we've even gone 6 months. Propane runs the cook stove and the water heater, but it's an electric, it's electric and propane. So if we're boondocking, we can use propane to run the water heater. If we're boondocking, we get drinking water. We sometimes buy it if we can't find a place to fill up our water jug. We have a water jug that has a little pump on it. We will usually fill it up before we leave another place. So like, for example, we're at 1,000 Trails right now. If we were to go boondocking, we would fill it up just from the outside tap with our Camco filter on. And so then we're not paying more. If we do have to get drinking water, it's maybe a couple dollars at one of those water refill stations. Again, for boondocking, for water, we will usually fill up at the place that we're at. If we're going to be driving a lot of mountain passes, then we will wait and fill up, at a fill station. And usually that'll be like $10. The one in Gunnison cost us $5. I think it was a little over $5. That used to be free, by the way. So somebody saw some dollar signs and decided to start charging for dumping and filling water. And then after boondocking, it'll be like $20 to dump. We just find a dump station. Sometimes we'll carry it to the next place, but usually we dump because we don't want to carry it. So for our truck and our camper and utilities, that puts us at $1,343. Our set budget for RV parks is $1,200 a month. Sometimes we don't come anywhere close to that, and sometimes we go all the way to the max. So for example, in September, we stayed at 1,000 Trails, and I'll touch on that here in just a minute. We did some state parks. We did some boondocking. We stayed 16 days boondocking, and then we stayed at one RV park, and I think that was like 4 days. So for that whole month, we only spent $294 of that budget. If we don't spend that full $1,200 budget per month, we just roll that over. So on top of our $1,200 monthly budget for RV parks, we have 1,000 Trails membership. We got the camping pass. I've mentioned this before in some of my other videos. That is the program we recommend. I would never recommend any of those high tier, high dollar. They remind me of like a timeshare. and they say it's not a timeshare, it's not a timeshare. It sounds like one to me. So we just stay far away from that. We pay about $1,500 a year, and we can stay 3 weeks every month for free. So that comes out to about $121 a month. 3 weeks at a nice resort with a pool and a hot tub and all kinds of things going on for $121 a month. You cannot beat that. I will leave a link in the description, or you can scan this QR code if you want to look into the Thousand Trails Camping Pass. Highly, highly recommend it. I think we are believers. We'll probably always have it from now on. The other thing we have is Harvest Host. And like I said, this is on top of the $1,200 budget. We don't include that in that budget. That budget is for when we have to book other things other than Thousand Trails or Harvest Host. Harvest Host is about $170 a year. So that comes out to about $13 a month. And we don't stay every month at a Harvest Host, not even one, but for us, the numbers, it is well worth it, especially if we have to travel 2 or 3 days to our next location. Having a one night over on that is just, it's so nice. I mean, $13, you cannot beat that. Of course, then they want you to spend $30 at whatever you're going to. If it's a winery or a brewery or whatever, they want you to spend $30. Still, $43 a night. We just stayed at a state park in Arizona and it was $50 a night. So still a good deal, reasonable for sure. What's your favorite way to RV? Do you like boondocking or like resort? Are you all about that RV resort life? Let me know in the comments below. I'll tell you what, I love both. I love being out in the wilderness, not a soul around me, beautiful scenery. I love that. But I also love my hookups, full hookups. I love a pool, a hot tub, all the stuff, you know. I love both of those. And then, of course, you have fuel expenses. This, of course, is going to be different for everyone. We travel every week. Lately, it's been like every 4 days. So those fuel expenses have been a little higher than usual. We do have the Open Roads card. It's a program that you sign up for. It's free, and you get discounted diesel fuel prices at like your Mavericks, truck stops usually, TA, Loves, Pilot sometimes. It just depends, but it's free to sign up. The way it works is you link your bank account to the card, and then when you go into the trucker lanes, you have to use that card that they send you, and you get the discounted price. Now, on the screen when you're pumping the gas, it will show the regular price. So don't think, I didn't get the discount. You do actually get the discount. It just reflects once it gets withdrawn from your bank account, which usually takes 2 or 3 days. So make sure you keep that in mind if you sign up for this. If you're a little concerned about having your bank account tied to something like that, I suggest just having a totally separate bank account. That's what we do. We have one account that is just for fuel, and we put that money in there. So all we have is our budget for the month for our fuel in that account. So they can't get a hold of all of our money. If something were to happen, they'll just have that, which is bad enough. But we have never had any problems. It's very secure. I highly recommend it. I will leave a link in the description. You can sign up for it. Like I said, it's free. And I'm sure you've heard of it. A lot of people use it. It's a great tool. We were just at a Maverick in New Mexico, in Taos, New Mexico. And the regular price, I think, was like $316, and we ended up paying $304. So, I mean, that adds up. Huge savings. So our monthly budget for fuel and truck maintenance and RV maintenance is $1,000. Once again, sometimes we use all of that, sometimes we don't, and when we don't, we roll it over and it stays in that one account. So for example, just this last month in September, we spent $883.20. And let's see, we had 7 times we got fuel. We had a tire repair. We went to O'Reilly's to get DEF, the DEF, that additive that you put in the new diesel trucks. It's a scam. It's an added expense. Maybe not, whatever. It's for emissions. I don't know, but it's annoying. And then we had a slide cable that we had to fix. One thing that we do is we have separate accounts for every category. So we have one for RV stays, food and household, gas. Oh, and then my husband's work supplies. And I'll tell you about that here in just a minute. It's just so much easier for us to do it that way and just keep it. It's like the envelope system, but with accounts. So we have the truck, the camper, fuel expenses, and our RV parks stay budget, including Harvest Host and Thousand Trails. And that puts us at $3,677.20. I have to keep looking at my notes because I can't remember it. Then, of course, you have to have insurance, right? Auto insurance and RV insurance. We went with Progressive. It was the cheapest we could find, and we pay $376.09. So that brings us up to $4,053.29. And that's just to keep a roof over our head, have utilities, running water, heat, AC. If we were stationary and didn't travel as much, I mean, that's probably about $1,000 that we could knock off of that, because we wouldn't be having as much wear and tear on either the truck or the camper. We wouldn't be spending as much in fuel or maintenance. Even if you traveled as much as we do, you could still cut that by at least $1,000 by using Thousand Trails, the camping pass, and Harvest Host, and did boondocking and just go park to park. 2 weeks in 1,000 Trails, 1 week boondocking to get to your next Thousand Trails destination, and then you have a whole month and you only spent $121 or about $160 a month. That's crazy to have like resort life and traveling around. See, that's huge. It's all up to you. It just depends on what you want and how you want to do this. And if you had a used RV, that would be another huge cut. That is a great way to live the RV life cheap. And then of course you have to have food and household supplies, right? Like toilet paper, toothpaste, cleaning supplies, all that stuff. We have a set monthly budget of $1,400 for all of our food and all of our household items. Sometimes that goes really fast. It just depends on where you're at. If groceries are more expensive, it just depends. By the way, if we want to eat out, it also comes out of that budget. We try not to eat out too much. I really enjoy cooking, and I think I'm a pretty good cook, so we like eating the food that I make. So cheesy. They're good?
They're delicious.
What the heck?
The deer and the bear and the antelope that my husband and daughter got this last September has helped tremendously with that budget. We also have a fun budget of $200 a month. So for fun stuff, some people might include eating out with that, but I figure if you're eating out, you got to eat anyway. So if you're gonna take that out of the grocery budget, and then that actually prevents you from eating out too much, because that will go so fast if you eat out too much. $200, that doesn't sound like too much, but what we try to do, if we want to maybe go to a movie, or we'll go out for ice cream, or find like a local bakery and go get a treat, things like that. Most of our adventure stuff is free. We do hikes, we go biking, we go to lakes. State parks, national parks. We have the America the Beautiful Parks Pass, which is free for veterans. We don't have to pay because I am a veteran, and so I took advantage of that real quick. If you're a veteran, please take advantage of that, because our national parks are such a treasure, and it's just a great way to see things in the different states that you go to. So even if you're not a veteran and you go and you get the America the Beautiful pass, it's like $80 a year. And that is so worth it, because just a few visits to 3 different parks will pay for that. And if you're traveling around, there's national parks and monuments all over the place. Pretty much anything cheap or free, we seek that out. If it's free, it's for me. Also out of that budget is like wine or any alcoholic drinks that we might want to try. And speaking of which, have you seen that new chocolate Crown Royal, the chocolate whiskey? My dad brought some the last time he visited. That stuff is delicious. You know, they have the apple and the peach, and I don't really like those because it has a really kind of artificial flavor, but the chocolate was delicious. Just on the rocks or on the rocks with a little cream. It was like a chocolate flavored Irish cream. Absolutely delicious. I highly recommend it if you are wanting to try something new. So for all our housing expenses and then the food and household budget, that brings us to $5,653.29. Oh, and the fun budget is also included in that number. And by the way, since you asked about what Jeff does for a living, he's actually a private contractor for RV Armor, and he repairs and installs the RV Armor coating, roof coating. So since he's a private contractor, he has to actually purchase his own supplies, some of the supplies for the jobs that he does. Our budget for that is $600 every month. And it's the same thing if he spends it, you know, that's what he has, $600, and if he doesn't spend it all, then he just rolls it over to the next paycheck. We're actually at Home Depot right now, and he's getting some supplies for his job that he starts next week. If that's something that you're interested in looking into, I'll leave a link down below in the description and a code that if you do go with an RV Armor roof, you can get $100 off. And then, of course, you have to stay in touch, right? We need phones and internet. So we have Verizon, we have 3 lines, and we have Starlink Unlimited, and those together run us $330 a month. You also need to get your mail. You have to have a way to get your mail. And, you know, the ideal thing is to, if you have a relative that will let you use their address and have all your mail sent to them, and then they forward it to you, that's ideal. But I think most of us can't really do that, so we have to have a mail forwarding service. We use iPostal One. You know, it's just a little cheaper than Escapees. And then the thing about Escapees too is there's just the 3 states that you can domicile in. And we wanted to keep our Colorado residency for hunting purposes for now. So that's why we went with iPostal One, because they're kind of across the United States. Sometimes there's additional fees when you want to have your mail forwarded to you, but it's usually only a few dollars, and you can check your mail right online. So when we do have something delivered, it's maybe only every few months or so, and it's just like a few dollars. I always go with the lowest shipping amount and the lowest shipping time to get the cheapest price. Do you use a mail forwarding service? And if you do, which one do you use? So that brings us to $6,603.28. Lastly, we have a little bit of health insurance, and we have some streaming services and my daughter's online homeschool. We do a combination of online and offline. It's just what works best for us. Of course, you don't have to have online, so that might be an expense that you wouldn't have. And that's really with all of this stuff. There's going to be things that expense is not going to apply to you. So like I said, it's just whatever you make of it, really. You know, it's your choice how you want to live the RV lifestyle. And that's an additional $161.08, which brings us to $6,764.36 per month. That is our basic expenses. That's what we need to live this lifestyle. There are so many different ways to live the RV lifestyle. I mean, if you've been out there at all, even if you just camp on the weekends, you can see all the range of different types of people, different types of RVs, and the different ways that they RV. So it really is up to you. You just have to figure out what's going to work best for you and what you want out of the lifestyle. Jeff and I both work from the RV, and that's what is working for us. By the way, what is your best money-saving hack, tip, whatever, for RV living? Will you leave that in the comments below? I would love some more ideas, first of all. And if you don't mind, I might share them on a future video. That can be incredibly helpful to all of us, but especially anybody new. We just hit 26,000 subscribers last week, and I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you for subscribing and liking and commenting and watching, of course. You have really made a lot of this possible. We just really appreciate your support, so thank you. Watch this video next for some RV life money saving tips and ideas. And thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.